In this Illustrator tutorial, we're going to show you some of the basics of how to use the pen tool, how to work with outlines and text on a path, and how to work with the Pathfinder. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you'll see in our sample file, okay, I have a series of dots. We're going to use these dots to help us recreate this line here. So there's two different ways we can use the pen tool. All right, so if I come over here, get to my pen tool, you'll notice the shortcut key for the pen tool is the letter P. Keep in mind, the shortcuts don't work when you're using the text tool. All right, so if you start typing out text and you type the letter P, it's not going to get you to another tool. It's just going to type the letter P. But all the rest of the time, when you type these shortcuts, all right, it should jump you right to that tool. Also, when you mouse over a tool, these tooltips come up that give you a short explanation of how that tool works. So in this case, I'm going to use the pen tool and I'm just going to click and move. I'm not clicking and dragging. All right, that's the difference. So I'm just going to click on the first anchor point, click on the next one, okay, click again. And each time I click, it just gives me a new segment added to the string of segments I already have. Okay, now at the moment, I'm not creating a closed shape. All right, this shape is wide open. And then when I'm done, I can hit the escape key, and that stops using the pen tool for that particular line. All right. If you look at what I have here, okay, you'll see that it has a stroke color of black and it has a fill color of white. Now you can't see the fill color because the background is also white. So if I double click on my fill color over here in my color palettes, I can get to the color picker and I can pick a different color. So in this case, I'll go with green. Okay, you go with whatever color you want. And you'll notice that it's trying to fill in this shape. But because it's not a closed shape, it's just kind of connecting from the first point to the last point to sort of close it off. All right. If I want to change the stroke color, I can click on the stroke palette down here. Okay. If I double click on it, okay, I can change the color there. And go with kind of a yellow color. You'll notice it's a little hard to see with the line selected, and that's because my stroke weight is very minimal at this point. So if I select my object, okay, I can come over here to the stroke palette and I can increase the stroke weight, making the making the outside stroke thicker. So that's if we just click. Okay, things get a little bit different if we click and drag. So for this example, you could see, all right, we have a wavy line that we want to replicate. We're going to use the same tool again. All right. Underneath my palettes, I have the default fill and stroke. If I use the D key on my keyboard, it'll switch me back. So for this one, I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag out. Then I'm going to come down to my next point and I'm going to click and drag. And I'm always dragging off in the direction that I want to exit the point. Okay, so in this case, I'm always dragging to the right. And it doesn't have to be exact. And we'll show you why in a minute. So let's say I make a mistake. I go kind of swing wild down there. And of course, when I'm done, just like before, I can hit escape and get out of the tool. Now, the reason why I said it doesn't matter if I make a mistake is because in the case of both of these, I can go to my direct selection tool or the white arrow tool, and I can select any one of these points that I just created, and you'll notice these handles come up. All right, these are the same handles that I was kind of dragging out before. All right, these are called Bezier control handles. All right, spelled Bezier. I believe it's a French term. Okay, and so at any point I can go back in and I can adjust my curves. So if I don't like the way it looks, right, if I want to drag it out, if I want to drag it back, I can. Okay, if I want to drag it up, all right, you can see how I can twist my curves around. Okay. And just like before, okay, even though this is not a closed object, it does have a fill and it does have a stroke to it. Now, if I wanted to steal the fill and stroke from another object, okay, while I have it selected, I can go to my eyedropper tool and I can select this object up here. And you'll notice it applies the same fill and stroke color that I just had from the previous object. So now let's go down here to the next one. All right. So for this one, you can see I did text on a path, but my path was from a letter T. All right. So if you notice, my letter T here has a stroke color, but the fill color has this slash going through it. This red slash means it's transparent. It means there is no color applied to the fill color on this. Ultimately, none of that's going to matter because as soon as I apply text to it, any fill and stroke that was on it is going to go away, right? However, this is the letter T, right? So if I highlight it, I could change this to the letter S if I want to. I'm going to stick with the letter T. So right now it's a letter, it's not a path, and I want to change that. So I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to create outlines. Now, once I do this, I can no longer edit this as text anymore. So now it is a shape. At which point, just like we've done in previous activities, I can go to type on path and I can click on the top of this. Okay, now it's saying you must click on a non-compound path, non-masking path. All right. When I turn this into create outlines, it made what's called a compound path. So I'm gonna select it with my black arrow or my selection tool, move tool. Okay, I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna ungroup. And I'll click on it again, right click and release compound path. So now I should have a path that I can apply text to. So I'll go over here, click on it, there we go. And I can just type text path. I'll select my text, Control C to copy, V to paste. All right. So the last example we're going to do is using what's called the PATHFINDER tool. So the PATHFINDER allows us to add or subtract 2D shapes together. In other software, you might have called this a Boolean operation. All right. We've done some stuff with Onshape, and in Onshape, we did Boolean addition and Boolean subtraction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this circle and I'm going to intersect it with my square over here. And the trick to this is having both of them selected. And then I'm going to go up here to my properties palette, and down on my properties palette, I have the PATHFINDER tools. So here I can add them together. Okay. I'm going to hit Control Z to undo. I can make a subtraction of whatever's on top from whatever's on bottom. Okay, I'm going to undo again, Control Z. I can find the intersection of the two pieces. Okay. Or I can find everything except the intersection of the two pieces. Okay. Which doesn't look like much, but what I have here is I actually have two pieces now. All right. So let me ungroup this and I can pull this away. All right. So what I want you to do is you're just going to come in here, drag this over, select this one as well. I'm holding down the shift key to select more than one thing at a time. All right. And then I'm going to make a subtraction. So that's it for those demos. Okay. You're going to save it and you're going to attach it to the posting for the assignment, and then you move on. Good luck.